Hi, guys. It's Vikram Raya, your host for the Limitless MD podcast. I'm super excited and pumped to talk to you guys today about how to recover from extreme fatigue. What if you could reclaim hours of free time each week, create legacy building wealth, and devote more energy to your passion projects without giving up on your career as a life-saving MD? My name is Vikram Raya, functional cardiologist, high performance coach, and real estate expert. And I'm here to give you the tools, strategies, and solutions you need to transform your life so you can unlock your limitless potential and achieve greatness, all the while freeing up your precious time. Welcome to Limitless MD. Let's dive in. So I sort of the nickname of this is Burnout to Breakthrough, right? So number one, it's true. We can burn out. We can sort of push ourselves to the limit. And when that happens, it's noticeable. You have low energy, you have apathy, you don't feel like doing things, you're wondering what's going on, your motivation and drive has been sapped, and you're just sort of blah, right? So this is a real thing. You have to recognize it. It can happen because you overwork at your job as a doctor, for example, or perhaps you're overworking, in your side hustle, or perhaps you're just being super mom or super dad and you're just burnt, you're spent. So that's number one. Number two, is there metrics? How do we measure this? Is it true? Well, you should have your own internal energy gauge, right? You can see like, am I not that interested in anything right now? I'm trying to be antisocial. I'm not interested in my hobbies and passions that I once had. I'm treating people harshly. I'm maybe being very curt or very short with people. Maybe am I under eating or overeating? Am I drinking too much alcohol or not, or doing things that are putting my body out of balance, right? And so there's also objective measurements. I use something called the Aura Ring, and in it, there's a technology called HRV, or heart rate variability. It's a metric that essentially, assesses your sympathetic drive, which is your stress, and flight or flight response. And then there's parasympathetic drive, which is more rest, ruminate, digest kind of response. And the higher sympathetic tone you have, the more you have less variability between your heartbeats, and so your HRV goes down. And it's a good surrogate marker for a lot of things: your stress levels, your intensity, your recovery, for example. So if your HRV is normally pretty high and then it's gone down for last week, that's already a red flag. Combining this with temperature, combining this with your sleep score, and your movement really can be very predictive. So whether you're using a Whoop band or an Oura Ring, can be very helpful in terms of metrics for this level of fatigue or burnout or extreme low energy. And then finally realize there is a solution. It's not that you've lost your drive, your mojo, or your love of life and passions. It's just that you need to recover. You need to restore what's going on. And so I think extreme performers in life, the 1%, the people that are sort of the high achievers and hyper productive folks, also, if they do it right, they also believe in extreme self-care. So combining extreme self-care with sort of this super productive lifestyle can really be a nice yin and yang. So I'll give an example. I was in a period of time where I just come back from a couple of trips. There was things going on with my car that I had to take care of, my home repairs. I had tons of social events I had to go to. Work was pretty busy on both the companies. And on top of that, my kids had a ton of practices as well as I had homework. And so I was really, at the point where I was like burning the candle, if you will, on both ends. And I was feeling low energy and run down. And so the question really becomes then, recognizing that I'm feeling this way. And number two, I had the metrics, right? My HRV, when I was like the lowest amount of stress ever this year was when I was in Italy for a month. And my HRV around that time was around 90 to 100, 110 even. And the last few days when all this was happening, my HRV dropped down to like 30s. I was like, dude, what's going on here? And so the metric reflected how I felt too. So it felt like it was almost substantiated my what was going on. So I knew I needed to take immediate action and do restorative measures. So I believe in extreme self-care. So I immediately started, unburdening my calendar a little bit. I started taking little mini breaks throughout the day. I started going back to the routines that I know work well. 10,000 steps a day, 7 to 8 hours of sleep, 3 liters of water, following an anti-inflammatory, gut-friendly kind of diet. And just following the routine where I'd get up at the same time, go to sleep at the same time, that kind of thing. On top of that, I started drinking sort of immune boosting teas, like PIQUE teas, which are really helpful for your digestion, your immune system, and energy. I started following the 10-3-2-1-0 protocol. That's essentially how to get optimized sleep. So 10 stands for the number of hours before you go to bed where you stop all caffeine. 3 is the number of hours before you go to bed where you don't eat any heavy meals or alcohol. 2 is the hours before your bed where you stop all work. And 1 is 1 hour before bed, no technology. And 0, the number of times you press snooze. So that 10-3-2-1-0 protocol is really helpful. I made sure I'm not missing my meditations. And so there's several meditations that I've explored. And right now I'm doing the Muse headband. A Muse is a technology headband that you put on your forehead, and it measures your brain waves similar to an EEG. It's almost like a sort of commercial EEG. And if you are in sort of a Zen-like state, a very relaxed state, when you're also wearing headphones when you're doing this, the headband will send signals to your headphones when you're in the meditative state that you hear birds chirping. It feels very pleasant. It feels amazing. And then when your mind starts racing, worrying, thoughts, then you hear like thunderstorms and wind, right? So that Muse headband has been very helpful. So it quantifies my meditation and see how much am I in the calm zone. On top of that, I haven't done yoga in a while. I've been doing more weights. And so I'm like, okay, I need some more yoga. So we got some stretching and some flexibility, increasing my circulation. I've done some infrared sauna, again, drinking the water, right? And then taking my supplements. So when I do all these things over the next few days, boom, my HRV is starting to climb. Now it's back up to about 75. I'm hoping it can get up to closer to the 80s, right? And so it's recognizing what's going on. It's taking immediate action, and it's giving yourself grace and compassion that you've been obviously pushing yourself hard, and then it's getting back into, there's no such thing as work-life balance, but there's counterbalance. And so you went from sort of the extreme of achieving an outcome or a goal to now counterbalancing and making sure the body, my temple, is stable and ready to go. So guys, I hope that helps when you ever feel burnt out, fatigued, low energy. You just need to implement these protocols in such a way consistently, and in the next 3 to 5 days, you should be able to recover, back to your old self. Okay. So with that said, I hope to see you guys next time on the podcast, and keep giving the comments, keep reaching out, and love all the support you guys are sharing with us. Truly appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Limitless MD. If you found value from this episode, I encourage you to share this episode with a friend and let me know by leaving a review. For more information, make sure you check out the links in the show notes below, or simply visit vikramraya.com. So until next time, my friends, be phenomenal.